Welcome to HDiiTV. You're now rocking with your, excuse me, boy. Y'all got a little tired opera this morning. Now, Chase Claypool and Randy Gregory have been traded from their respective teams. Claypool is being traded from the Bears to the Dolphins. I'm about to say the Niners to the Dolphins. They will also get a 2025 draft pick, 7th round. And in return, the Bears get a 2025 6th round pick. The Randy Gregory, he's being traded to the 49ers. And I think they're getting a 2024 6th or 7th round pick. And in return, the Broncos get a 2024 6th round pick, 5th or 6th round. Look, Randy Gregory got that big contract for the Broncos. Dallas was like, we not signing you back. Not for that much. Because he wasn't worth that much. Randy Gregory was always a pothead. He played out there in Nebraska. He was a solid player, but he was lazy. Like, he didn't really have a motor. To me, he was okay. He just lacked that that it factor. Like, he could pass rush, but he was always getting in trouble for marijuana, even since Nebraska days. I think he was suspended for a year. So, and I'm not trying to tear him down. I'm just trying to tell you that this is a man. This ain't got nothing to do with him being black. The white media and those have got to stop trying to make it seem like every brother is the same and every white person is good. That's bullshit. Randy Gregory was decent when he was playing at his peak, but Dallas picked up another pass rusher, which was Michael Parsons. And they had another guy in my cousin Dante Fowler. And then they got another guy, Williams. So Dallas has been just fine without him. The problem with Dallas has been situational football to close the games. Now, Randy Gregory, what will he do in the Niners? I could see him being a good rotational piece, but he don't have a high motor. He can get off the block, but his motor is very low. And then you also got to wonder, is he going to be motivated? Because I take Randy Gregory as a man who isn't a real hard worker. He might be. If he is, I'll apologize for what I said, but I just never took him as a hard worker. But what he would add to the Niners defense is fine. The Niners as a team is good. He'll just be another rotational piece to basically give their guys some rest, which is good for the Niners. The Broncos, if you're the Broncos, it's like, what are you doing? You at least could have tried to get a receiver off of them. That's what I'm saying, dog. It's like, you need offense. Your defense ain't it either, but still, your defense is getting torched from a schematic standpoint. The scheme they're running is trash. And Randy Gregory was probably one of the guys to voice it. And since his numbers weren't adding up to the contract, they was like, look, man, we ain't even trying to deal with this BS. Because what they're trying to do is they're going to try to move on from Russ, but they got to wait another year. So they're trying to bench him, but that'll be stupid. Why would you bench Russ when you should play him so then he could play his way onto another team? That's why I say these GMs and guys are dumb. Oh, what if he get hurt? Hey, that's a part of the game. You should have never gave him that money in the first place. If you weren't finna go all the way in on him. And the problem hasn't really been him. The problem is that the Broncos lack talent. See, people think they say these names, Jordan, Judy, all this. It doesn't mean that they're superstar caliber players. Okay? So, he'll be a good fit, good rotation. The Broncos probably cleared up some cap space. I think they're paying him the rest of the season on his contract. They're going to pay him the rest of his contract this season, and he'll get the minimum wage from the Niners this season. But after that, the Niners will take on his contract. And you know, it's just, we'll see. But Randy Gregory has always been a guy to me who just talent, helped him get to where he at, but he never honed his skills. He never worked on his fundamentals. And that's why, he was expendable. Now, Chase Claypool has been a headache, it seemed like, since Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got rid of him because if y'all remember when they were getting blown out, I think by Minnesota, he caught the ball, got a first down, and did an extra celebration or something, and he got flagged. And Tomlin was pissed. So he had even more incidents. So they shipped him out of there. Went to the Bears. Things ain't work out because they don't have a quarterback who can consistently get him the ball. But he didn't throw the quarterback under the bus. He threw the coach basically saying, no, they don't utilize me. The reporter baited him in and he took the bait. The reporter asked, are they utilizing you correctly? He said, no, they're not. And they put him on leave for 2 weeks, and they were able to trade him, to the Dolphins. Do I think he'll do well with the Dolphins? He'll be the third option because I think Tyreek Hill is hurt. This is why they went after him. But I mean, dog, he don't block. He's always complaining and crying. I think it was cool. All they gave up was a 6th round pick. So actually, the Dolphins did well in the trade to get him. They didn't have to give too much. But do I think he's gonna be? Do I think he's gonna ball out for the Dolphins? I mean, he should. They're an offensive predicate. Their receivers are the main focal point of the offense, getting the ball to their playmakers. But Claypool doesn't fit this type of system. See, the system Tuna Fish and them are playing is sort of like a West Coast offense. He's getting the ball to his playmakers, and then they're getting the yards after the catch. Like a receiver like Berrios, a receiver like Waddle, and Tyreek would just be so awesome in this system, which they've shown. But Claypool, to me, is not a receiver for this team. Now, will he be able to get the ball? Yeah, I would use him a lot in short yardages. Like, if you get to the opponent's 30-yard line, he'll be good, like, for a red zone or getting possession. Like, if he learns how to be a possession receiver, he could be on the field a lot longer. But I just don't see him being that great. Now, if they get the ball, throw it deep to him, I could see him do it. Because, like I said, Tuna Fish could throw the rock. His issue is, can he stay healthy? But I don't see it, but we'll see. I could be wrong. Now, Bucky Brooks said that we are in the golden age of receivers. Bucky Brooks also said that the Ravens should get rid of Lamar Jackson and bring in another quarterback that's similar to him. Bucky Brooks is what I call a house Negro. Now, he was discriminated against, I believe, wherever he was at, whoever he was working for, I believe. But he's a house Negro. He's going to say stuff that is going to go against the grain. He's like Trey. You know, he's a guy like Trey. Those guys just say something different than what everybody else says. They love to hear the room. If the majority of the room goes this direction, they're going to go another one. You know, he was talking about getting rid of them, trading them, you know, but ain't say shit about Joe Burrow, ain't say shit about Herbert. Justin Herbert hasn't done nothing, hasn't won a playoff game. You understand? Joe Burrow has not won an MVP in the regular season. Yes, he got to the Super Bowl, but a Super Bowl is a team achievement. From an individual standpoint, Lamar Jackson is out than both of them in his short time in the career. I mean, short time in the league. You don't believe me? Go look it up. So to see him, you know, see him, you're like, man, listen. Man, listen, I'm tired of this crap. I'm out. And that's the truth. You be out. But Bucky Brooks, how is this the golden age of the receiver? Jamar Chase can't even get open. He gets jammed at the line. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Ayuk, Tyreek Hill, Debo, Devontae, you know, you can say that. As far as receivers, you can say that. I don't really have a problem with what he's saying because you're right, but how can we call this the golden age of receivers when you're not even allowed to knock their heads off? These guys, majority of these guys would not have made it back in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Or the 2000s. They would not have made it. It was too physical, and these guys are soft. You barely tap these dudes. These dudes on the ground like, where the flag? Where the flag at? They just crying and shit. I'm like, dog, shut the hell up. Stop begging for a flag and just get open. That's what be killing me about CeeDee Lamb. Like, he'll stop mid-route to try to draw a foul instead of just go get the ball. Like, I just really don't understand these receivers today. These receivers today to me are soft. You could say as far as talent-wise, yeah, this the golden age of receiver, but how can you give them a golden age when they're not really playing against any defenses that's making their life difficult? And the defenses today, like everybody like HD, man, you need to get HD, you need what was I gonna say? Now I done forgot. But that's what I'm saying. You can't touch these guys. Like, oh yeah, they'll be like, man, HD, man, but still, dog, look at the numbers, look at the numbers. And see, that's where the problem lies, is analytics. As far as name and talent, yeah, you could say that we're in the golden age of receivers, but is that really saying much? They're not playing defense like they used to. To me, a transitional player is if I could take you from any era and you could play in any era. Excuse me. You heard that story about Nate Robinson talking about Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah put on his gear, his clothes and stuff, his gym clothes. And he proceeded to give Stephon Marbury the business. Marbury probably won't bring this up, but Nate Robinson brought it up because he said, I'm forever grateful to Zeke because Zeke picked me. And that's the God honest truth. Zeke drafted him. So now that's what I'm saying. So you can't say somebody has revolutionized something. You know, you can't say that when you can't say they revolutionized something when you can't translate them to any era. Can you translate any of these receivers to any era? Hell no. So they're really not a golden age cast. You can't touch these guys. And if you touch them within 5 yards, they still throw a flag, a la Kansas City Jets game. So it's like, what are we talking about here? You know, I understand people love this because they weren't alive then. You know, I understand. Like, I got to tell my little brother and them, my nieces and nephews and them, like, listen, you guys just got out y'all mama cooter. Y'all just got here. Y'all ain't been here. Y'all don't know what the hell going on. I got to tell my little brother Davion all the time, like, dude, if Travis Kelce played back in the day, dog, that he wouldn't survive. Like, if you want to say he's the best in this era, you could say that. I'm more of a George Kittle guy. You know, I think Kittle's the best tight end in the league, but hey, everybody can go at it. But yeah. But Bucky Brooks is very wrong. Because you can't translate these receivers to any era. Now, Devontae Adams, you could translate Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown, Jefferson could translate. Tyreek Hill could translate. He'll just be like he'll be another Santonio. Jamar Chase, no, you cannot translate Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase he can't get off the line on these corners. Who else? That's about it. Godwin for the Bucks, he could play in any era because he can run routes. Mike Evans, he probably could. Mike Evans would be another Vincent Jackson. That's all he would be. You know, if he played back in the day. So you could translate some of these guys, like linebackers, like Devin White could translate. He would just have to play the will linebacker. He would play the same position Derek Brooks played. Roquan could translate because he could play the Mike because he's a Mike naturally. You know, there's some D linemen, there's some O linemen, there's some quarterbacks who could play each era. Could Mahomes play each era? I don't think so. I think Mahomes would not make it back in the day. Lamar Jackson, could he have? I don't know. I think Lamar could. But you know, we don't really know because it's hard to tell. But those players back in the day, could they play today? Absolutely. Because once they get adjusted to the game, it's over. Once they know their technique, they're good to go. Randy Moss, man, he could play in any era. He was a freak for real. But that's what I'm saying. I can't really give this the golden era because they don't really play defense anymore. You know? So that's how I felt today. Like I said, Chase Claypool, this is his last stop. If he don't make it work here, he might be out in the league, and then we'll be hearing about a story where he got disrespected and all that. Randy Gregory, I'm not sold on it. I don't know if he'll last the whole season with the Niners. He probably will. And next year they'll probably cut him if they don't get production out of him. You know. And Bucky Brooks comments, hell no, full of shit. I'm out. Deezy.